Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Black excellence, black beauty, and black pride. Black power from all diasporas coincide. Progressive truth and regression eventually collide. May the beauty of the people no longer be set aside. May the black queen's grace continually mesmerize the millions who couldn't see it when looking into her eyes. And the black man's plight no longer be the disguise. Oppression, emasculation, they wanna castricize him. Take him away from the black queen, put him inside prison for slave labor, he institutionalized. Wondering on the outside, is she willing to ride? Is she willing to ride? Is she willing to fight for the love, even despite the fact that he doing time? Love that conquers all will never fade with time. If she don't choose the love that appreciates every life, his flame might get dim and he may eventually.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green & Wood Media Services. Green & Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green & Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com.
Welcome. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. I am super excited to be here. We are live. The Urban Impact Show is live from the studio here in Windsor Heights. The studio is available for private events, booking, call or text with questions 515-996-0326. Again, we are live right here. The Urban Impact Show is recorded live from the studio in Windsor Heights. And yes, somebody asked me the other day, is the place called the studio? Yes, it is called the studio. The studio in Windsor Heights. This space is available for private events. You can call or text with questions 515-996-0326. And I'm live with some of the hosts of this show, and I'm super excited to be working with these women as we celebrate Women's History Month. Please know that I will be saying off the wall things all month. Ain't that right?
Yes, that is correct, and it's not just all month.
Thank you.
So we got Miss LaWanda Nelson Brown in the studio with us. I know it's been a minute since y'all have seen her, so welcome her back.
Welcome back.
Up?
Thank you.
She got her hair all pressed and laid. Who did your hair?
Marquita Brown did my hair.
Over at Merle Hay Mall.
Yeah, over at Wallace Studio in Merle Hay Mall. So we'll give Marquita a shout out.
With your pink, where'd you get that from? That looks good.
Thank
the little quarter zip.
Thank you very much. It came from, it's the competitor to Lululemon, Fab something. I don't remember.
Oh, Fabletics.
Fabletics. That's it.
Yes.
This is Fabletics.
My new best friend.
Yep,
Yes.
Same.
Yep.
Super soft. We're giving them a shout out again.
Let me just tell you, I cannot be up at 2:00 in the morning anymore because I ended up buying Eli like $300 worth of clothes last night off like Amazon, Shein, some app named I found some app named Shein.
Yeah.
Then I found this little black. It's called the Black app, where it's like BLAPP or what is it? Well, you know what? Since you ain't gonna, the app where you know what? I'm gonna say it before we go to. It's called it's BLAPP. It's the black owned app where you can go to it.
Black.
And you can go to it and it'll pull up any black owned clothing store, restaurant, all of this stuff. So I ended up ordering a bunch of stuff offline. Because I couldn't fall back to sleep, and so I'm gonna hide my credit cards next time.
Yeah, definitely. That's dangerous. That can be dangerous, but
it's easy to do when they're that age, though. I mean, clothes are cheap, and you just spend. So
what up, DeWanda?
What's up?
How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
I'm not gonna say nothing crazy right now.
I am anticipating it all. I'm anticipating it all. I'm watching you very closely, just looking, and I'm doing good.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking. I'm gonna hand it over to you. It's all you.
All right. I'm excited this month because it is Women's History Month, and super excited that
AKA Cook His Meal Month.
Let's say that again. You know what? We're gonna have lots of problems. You notice that LaWanda is in between Rob and I. That's for a reason that she's in between us. But
strategic.
We are celebrating Women's History Month, and the phrase that I came up with this month is walking in wisdom.
Super dope.
Walking in wisdom, because this year I am determined to just retain all the wisdom I can from all the people around me, whether they're younger, whether they're older. Like, there's so many people that we can learn from. And so we are going to walk in wisdom this month. And we are super, super excited to have our first guest with us today, Miss Breanne Ward. I'm going to read a little bit about her. As a licensed mental health counselor and nationally recognized certified rehabilitation counselor with the Commission on Rehabilitation Counseling Certification, she has her own place called Forward Consulting LLC that happened in 2014, and in March of 2019 she was granted approval to provide mental health therapeutic services to persons ages 14 and up. Will y'all all help me welcome Miss Breanne Ward?
I just want to say before she gets started,
Yes.
Department of Public Health, give her some money, because this is one of very few Black-owned mental health facilities in this space. Black folks need help. For those who can't afford mental health services,
Absolutely.
we need to
That's
pay
right.
them for their services. So Department of Public Health, give them some money. I know y'all are watching, because all of the government officials is watching this show for some reason. So I know y'all watching. Give her some money. Go ahead, Breanne.
Yes. What Rob said. And Breanne, I just want to kick things off, and I know my other hosts will have questions as well. But just talk to us a little bit about what got you walking in this journey, mental health, why that's all important to you.
Well, I just want to thank you all for thinking about me. When you're just in the trenches doing what you've been called to do, when someone actually recognizes you, it's like, what, me? Oh, okay. So this is how this journey started, and Luana Nelson Brown can attest to it because she was there.
Absolutely. Every step of the way.
Started Polk County Victim Services 2005. I was graduating college. I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted to be a fashion major, but human development just took precedent in my brain and in my learning. I just enjoyed it so much. So Dr. Sandra L. McGee, bless her soul, rest in peace. She gave me a chance to be a counselor, a crisis counselor, and it opened my eyes to the deficits in Black community. It opened my eyes to the heinous trauma that people go through. And it also allowed me to see that I could be a helper. I can be a navigator, I could be a guide. And so that took me to my journey of grad school at Drake to get my master's in counseling. And it was there where I learned what the definition of trauma was. To Andrew Jacobs, one of my professors, and he defined it as something that happens to someone or something that happens around someone that they didn't ask for, and they're just kind of left to their own devices to figure it out. And if you look at the state of African Americans, especially in Polk County, a lot of people are figuring out through overfunctioning, through overeating, through under-socializing, crime, just doing the best they can to try to get the triggers and the trauma to reduction. And once I saw that I could be a vessel, I'm like, let's do it. And so I'm a trauma-focused therapist. I've been doing therapy since about 2016. I want to just give a shout out to New Sight Incorporated. They gave a girl a chance, and I learned a lot. And from there on, I decided that it was time for me to do it my way. Which was to get down to them roots, get in that dirt, see what was in there that was muddy and just nasty and hidden. And I've been able to help people walk through the court system, get their children back in their care, and also learn how to navigate their own lives according to their own right. So it's been kind of cool.
Kind of cool. That's extremely cool. I don't know what you mean. Kind of cool. Fantastic. I just love to hear you repeat the story, because I was there to see the story unfold. And you have done, I just want to say, tremendous work. And the growth has just been exponential. But I do have a quick question, my friend. As we talk about the state of Black mental health, is particularly here here in Iowa. What is one of the most prevalent things that you feel like is hindering us from being healthy, from being all that we can be? What is, if you had to pick one thing, what would be something that you would tell us is one of the most important things that hinders us?
I would say desensitization. I have listened to traumatic stories, and the person who's telling me is telling me like the sky is blue and there's rays of sunshine. So I would say if we can allow people to own their truth and emote in their truth, I think that would get people to think about healing. But when you have desensitized and normalized violence, especially domestic family violence, community violence, it's really hard for someone to break out of that because that's their safety mechanism. If I pretend it didn't happen or if I minimize the impact, it won't hurt me as bad. But as we know through adverse childhood experience study, people who minimize their trauma are more likely to have heart disease, more likely to get into risky behaviors or just the behaviors that will enhance your hormones in your brain. Yeah. Fast driving, lots of sex, and a lot of overfunction, wanting to be leaders, and not knowing how to lead their own lives because no one has given them a platform to do so. So I would say desensitization is like the number one thing that I see as a therapist.
Yep, I totally feel that. I didn't know you were going to say that, but now that you did, that brings to mind something that I heard previously. Actually, something someone said to me. It might have been you, Brianne. Actually, as I was telling a story of something that happened to me that particular day, it was a traumatic event, but I was completely disconnected from the fact that it was traumatic, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, this thing happened to me today, X, Y, and Z, and everybody around me was like, oh my God. And I was like, what's wrong with y'all? Because I think historically as a community, we've suffered so much trauma that we no longer even know how to identify traumatic events, And so
I remember that day, Luana. We were making a curriculum.
Yes, that's what and the curriculum was traumatic too. It was talking about trauma, and even in the space and community with each other, I still totally disconnected. And thankfully for me, I had my sister there who could say, hold on, let's take a pause, and let's really focus on that and she gave me space to really feel and emote so I could work through that, So thank you for that, my sister. This was a good cathartic moment for us.
You are welcome, dear.
Brianna, I have a question. What advice do you give to women? Women are carrying in different loads and wearing many different hats, doing various things from running businesses to working for businesses to being mom or caretakers to others. And what advice do you give to women to kind of have that healthy balance between work and family and everything else that they're carrying?
That is a good question, my sister. First of all, we just need to have clear definitions. Are you really supposed to be working at 8:00 at night? And if so, I need you to explain why. Now, I do understand different shifts, different gifts. I understand all of that. But we don't always have to be working. We don't always have to be on the clock. We don't always have to be in front of our email. So I think clarifying when we're working, why we're working, and then allowing us to be able to do the self-care that makes the most sense to us. Black women have to utilize space and time because sometimes it's not always just hours individually. And so we need to figure out, is it taking a nap? Is it sleeping for 8 hours? Is it drinking water? Is it eating organic food? We have to make it very subjective to us. And we also have to tell others when we're taking that time. We don't want to interrupt it, including our children. My baby knows when I close the door or, when I'm watching a TV show. Yes, he can come in. Here he is. Look at him. This is him right here. There he is.
I love that.
Come on in, baby.
So I feel like we have to normalize this. Like I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like I was somewhere, and Eli was there, and they were like, "Oh, that's kind of unprofessional to have your baby, right?" And I looked at them and I said, "Well, we are leaving. Yeah, take care. Have a good day."
Right.
Like we have to normalize people being parents, right? You gotta, like, babies do baby things. Right. If he start crying, we'll go to commercial break to quiet him down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Well, and let's be honest, we have to normalize family, especially Black family.
That part,
We haven't
yes.
been able to have healthy families portrayed, and so when we expose it, we need to celebrate it. Think about why our families have been broken for so long, and now that we are trying to make it organic and flow, we got to celebrate that.
Yeah, man. Like look, I have one question, and then I'll toss it back to my other great host that we have. I realize sometimes, that men are, we do tend to overlook sometimes. We do tend to not be as present or as thoughtful as we should be. How do you make it through your day being Breanne Ward? And what I mean by that is your wife, your mom, you are a first lady, you're an entrepreneur. You have all of these titles that really take a lot of your time, a lot of attention, takes a lot of effort. How do you manage Breanne Ward?
Woo! You all, this is a really interesting story, an interesting question, because I think I'm still trying to figure that out. There are new levels to success. There is new, I am so sorry, you guys. I'm at church right now, and so everybody's having a good time. Mo, can you close the door for me, please? Thank you, sweetie. You see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm still trying to figure out how to manage me. Managing me has been a process because, Mike, you had stated, Luana, I have, Forward Consulting has grown. Not only do we do therapy, but we do consulting, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, for a lot of nonprofits and local agencies. So we are always being stretched and we're always being challenged. And so balancing me maybe like 6 months ago is way different from balancing me right now. On top of that, my husband just became moderator of the Iowa Central District Baptist Association. That's a whole new ball game. And so, you know what I'm learning how to do in this season of balancing me is stopping. I enjoy my Saturdays morning sunrise to 1 p.m. of doing nothing. If I'm just watching Netflix, but I'm always in my bed and I'm always in my pajamas because I have to train myself that you don't have to be on, Breanne. Don't nobody need you but you right now. Right. So I'm learning, you all, and it's definitely a process.
Absolutely. I love that you said that because, I've been on that journey for a little bit, and we can get there, feel like we've arrived, and then take 1,000 steps back. And I think remembering that it's a journey is important. And also, as community members, our sisters and brothers keepers, we have to respect that when people are taking a minute. And that is why I love my group of people that are in my circle, including everyone here at the Urban Impact Show, because I never get any questions. I never get any challenges. When I am taking a break, it's like, take the break, so I challenge us as a community to keep that in mind for each other as well. Yeah. Were you going to say something, Ron?
No. I just want to ask you one last question, Breanne, as we bring things to a close. There's someone here that is watching the Urban Impact Show who is teetering between if they get help or not, with some of the stigma that is out there about, talking about we have problems sometimes in our community. We do better just to say that we're doing okay and we keep moving. So could you just speak to the person who is teetering between that decision, and what would you tell them if they are looking for some help but they just don't know where to start?
Absolutely. What a great question. I have this cliche, it works until it doesn't. And when you've come to the end of your coping strategies and they are not taking care of things like they used to, that probably is an indication that it's time for you to just find someone neutral and, go to see, like, what can I do that's different from what I've been trying? And here's the beauty of therapy. You get to interview the therapist. You don't have to stay planted at some place because, you believe they have some kind of authority. You get to shop around if you'd like to and find the one that actually fits you, understands you, and can guide you well. I also would say that it's okay to listen to your own voice. I know generations in the past have said, we don't do that. We don't talk to people. We don't tell people our business. They don't need to know. All you need to do is go to church, girl, and get you a man. Go get you some makeup. Get you a bundle. Do something. Go drink or something. But what I want you to know, it's okay to listen to your own voice and know what you need. And so your voice is very powerful, and it has the ability to move mountains, change situations, and build legacy. So listen to yourself and know it's okay that you can get help as well.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Brianne. We want to thank you so much for taking time to be with us and share space with us here at the Urban Impact Show. Please make sure, though, if you do need help, we encourage you here at the Urban Impact Show to find someone to talk to help you through whatever you're going through. So again, Brianne, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break right here at the Urban Impact Show.
Thank you.
The Urban Impact Show is sponsored by Green and Wood Media Services. Green and Wood uses digital media to help businesses, political campaigns, and organizations grow while increasing their community impact. Green and Wood Media is pleased to offer a digital media buying fellowship to train, develop, and mentor young people interested in digital media, politics, and advertising. Learn more at greenandwoodmedia.com. Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where this month we are focusing on Women's History Month. Every guest this month will be a woman. Wow.
Awesome. Makes me feel great. Rob, how does that make you feel?
Can we turn that on? The speaker. Thank you. I was hearing
I hear it
too much.
a little bit too much.
Yeah, I was hearing y'all voices too much. I wanted it gone.
Oh, wow. Good luck with that, right? We will always be in your ear, always.
Man, I was only kidding. I was just trying to get them because. So I'm excited about this month, if I can say, because look, I love women. Just, okay. I love y'all. Yeah. But one thing, can I kick this off?
Go ahead, kick it off.
Oh, good. Ooh, yeah.
Right now.
That's because she put the lip gloss on.
Exactly.
She put the lip gloss on.
Oh my goodness.
I was like,
oh boy.
Get it started.
He got it.
Right.
You know what? You got to do the bio. So go ahead, Dewan. Go ahead, Dewan.
Introduce our guest before Rob goes in, because I know he's already ready. So we have Courtney Perry with us. She is the CEO of Privacy LLC, which is the parent company of A Lady Luck Scented Candles. Let me tell you, the candles are amazing.
They are.
Them from Valentine's, for Juneteenth.
Who you get candles for Valentine's Day?
What?
None of your business.
I bought myself a package and got myself some candles and enjoyed my candles.
There you go.
Myself and I.
It's all about self-love.
Y'all see
Right.
she just checked me in such a polite way. She been hanging around Madison. Too.
Yes.
All right. So, Privacy LLC delivers exceptional event planning and event coordination services, business consultations, and produces hand-poured candles throughout the Iowa area. So everyone help me welcome Courtney Perry to the Urban Impact Show.
And that's Courtney with a K,
Please.
not a C.
Correct.
So
Awesome.
who did that?
My mama, my daddy, my grandma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, check it.
Yeah. Courtney with a K. Her mic. Okay, make sure. Yeah, there you
Sorry.
go. Yeah, so I do want to say this though, y'all. There is probably not an event I haven't gone to where Black folks was running it, where Courtney didn't have some type of hand in it.
Right.
And so definitely want to shout you out for your continued, but most of all, your consistency. Right. That's what I really like about it. Like the consistency. Every time, when I looked and saw that you were a part of some other events, I said, okay, it's going to be really well organized. I could probably use some help at some of the stuff that I do. Madison, stop it. But no, really good job. Like your consistency, like you continue to show up. I don't like being bossed around, but for some reason you do it. I don't really appreciate it.
No one cares. Just saying.
When I show up somewhere and Courtney's in charge, Rob, we need tables over there. I didn't even come here for that.
But I said, please.
Get tables. There is no please.
No?
There is no
I was
please.
in go mode, then I'm sorry.
Don't say sorry now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I take it back then.
With your lip
get
gloss
them
and
tables?
He got the
your
tables.
shoes on.
Got the tables.
I did. I had to carry them tables, man. Them tables was heavy. Them tables was heavy.
Sorry.
But just so people know, I look like we try to put on a great presentation when we do this show, right?
Okay.
Like Madison does a great job at outlining what this show is going to look like. Our show hosts show up every Sunday. The background, the studio look of the show. We try to show up and show out, right?
Okay.
And so when your business comes in, you take a really serious stand on how we present ourselves.
Right.
And I love it when Black folks show up and look good. I love it. I absolutely love when Black folks show up and look good, because it's who we are.
Correct.
It's the essence of who we are.
Right.
And Black women are killing it right now. Tell us a little bit
Amazing.
more about like how you got started what brought it, what got you to, I mean, because who wakes up and says, you know what, I feel like decorating today?
Well, it definitely wasn't like I woke up and I'm gonna plan this event for you. No, I honestly, you guys, was kind of handpicked. I got a phone call from my sister and Karina, Shante Duncan and Karina Hoof, and they said, Robert Presswood needs your help, and we chose you. Yeah. Okay. So, of course, Clash of the Clippers, everybody knows that's where it all started at. Big praise to Mr. Presswood. I appreciate you. And, after doing that, a whole event, I kind of had like an epiphany, like, oh my gosh, regardless if my feet hurt at the end of that day, I'm like, this didn't bring me nothing but joy. Nothing but joy. So it was hit the ground running. I registered, I started networking, I started getting myself out there and making it happen.
Hit the ground running, and joy. That sticks out to me because, as we just heard from Brianne, that is important to our mental health, right? And so I love that you say that in your story, because there are so many people who are working jobs, that they
just
are
over broke. That's what that stands for.
Just totally over broke. And they have no JOY in their work, so thank you, Madison. And so I love, when we hear from a successful Black woman who puts joy first. So thank you for saying that. What has been if you had to point to one thing, what is the one thing that you've done, because you've done a lot, that brings you or brought you the most joy? If you had to say, this was my successful thing so far, what would be that one thing?
Only one?
Okay, two.
Oh my goodness. I mean, everything has brought me joy. But I will say my first two events that I did in 2019, just really putting it on and following through. Those were my babies. Of course, then we hit a pandemic and I wasn't able to do it again, but regardless, I did it and I went through it. And those two shows was the vendor showcase that I did during Drake Relays, and then I did a children's runway. So those were both my babies.
Awesome. How have you survived the pandemic, since you mentioned that?
So the pandemic, of course, that shut down all events. So I have the backup of the business consultation with small businesses. Right. And then my sister, I always wanted to have a product that went with my service side. So my sister was like, you should try out candles. So of course, doing the research and whatnot like that, ordering my first kit, and Lady Luck Scented Candles came out. So
I love it.
That's where my product came out during the pandemic.
I love it.
Pandemic, actually. But.
Yeah, I think that's been somewhat of a theme on our show as we've talked to other entrepreneurs, that the pandemic, and this is true to us in our community, something like a global pandemic doesn't stop us, it makes us grow. And you're a perfect example of that. So I'm excited to hear that.
I was called a pivoter at one point.
Pivoter. I love that you just pivot. That's what we do.
You got to make a different step.
Right.
We just out here making up stuff.
Multiple streams of income. You better.
That's what we do.
Stop it. Okay. It's going to be me and you.
I got a buddy right over here next to me. So see,
let me sit here. Let me get this way. Make sure that.
Matthew, you ready to jump over the table?
Matt's good. He got to make sure we stay live.
Right.
I'm so happy. You're next to me.
Yes.
Courtney, I want to ask you a question about just, you do, you got the business consultation, you've got the candles, you've got all these things that you do, and I'm going to ask every person that's on the show how you balance it all between personal and business, and and you're always present, at all of these events, but how do you balance that with your kind of work balance, family life?
It all ties in together now.
Yeah.
It all ties in together, actually. Family, I help run family businesses, so, there's not really a balance right now. But I will say, when time comes and I hit that peak where I'm exhausted and I'm done, I do shut down. I shut down and I have to take my time and it's over. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be able to reboot and be able to take care of myself in order for me to continue being able to do for others. So, yeah.
Court, how does it feel when people walk into your shop to support your business? Like I remember walking in and being like, looking around like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm proud of what you did. And y'all know me, I just put the money on the table and said, get me what I can get for this.
Yeah, that's basically what he did.
Yeah, because I don't pick.
He don't shout from no. It's just like you said.
Look, I show up to Ruby B's and I don't barely read the menu. I just say, give me chicken and some sides. You know, make it happen.
I'm like, right. Sit down. We got you. We got you. Sit down.
Like, just give me the money and sit down.
Sit down.
Just come in and sit down.
But like, how does it feel? Like when somebody you know, and even it doesn't have to be somebody you know, but just to see people come in to your business to support you. I'm sure probably, you know, if it's somebody you know and somebody who you've supported in the past, to see them come and return that the reciprocity of that, like, how does that feel?
I'm very appreciative. I'm very, very appreciative. Opening a store was not by far what I had in mind. But when that opportunity presented itself, and there was absolutely no negativity behind that decision, then you go for it. I tell everybody, I'm scared. Period.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
And they say if you're scared, then that's something that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So when people walk through that door, I'm grateful. You don't even got to come and buy nothing. You can. I tell people, just come by, come sit. You know, we can have a little glass of wine or something. I might have some wine, but
I'm gonna bring you some so you have it. I'm gonna bring you some. Yes. Drop it off so you have it.
So we have it. Yes,
exactly.
On the fridge, on the ice.
She ain't bringing you nothing.
Yes, I am. I might come drink it, but I'm.
She brought it for us.
I brought it. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
It's such to have the opportunity to sit in these seats and to interview guests like you, people who we've watched, people who we're proud of, you know, our very own community people. It's such an honor and a privilege. Like I'm beyond humbled when we're able to say, hey, we had Courtney Perry on the show today.
Right.
She's and for lack of a better word, she's a strong Black woman, but she's also an entrepreneur. She's an example. You know, she's showing you, look, I'm gonna walk in faith. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make it happen. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, babe.
Oh my goodness.
Means necessary.
Right. She's a pivoter.
Yeah.
Stop making up stuff.
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Okay.
We are creators as well. Okay.
I am, and I can't really speak for Dewana and Luana, but I know I am just always humbled by the fact that we have, like, we this is a seat of privilege to have the honor to sit with you and do this, to talk about
thank you.
What we're
Don't make
doing.
me cry. I already cried today.
It really is though. Like people be thinking, like, you know, coming on this show is an honor, in which we create this because we want that feeling, right?
Correct.
We want to get this message out. And honestly, the honor is mine.
Absolutely.
Like, to have you all be a part of this is really something special.
But it's not like you don't do nothing either, though.
At the same time.
Did we?
The Urban Impact Show started at the Clash of the Clippers.
I was going to ask.
Oh, wow.
Right. We were there in 20. Yeah, with the Prairie Meadows. You sure are right.
Well, he had all different kind of lights at that time.
Yeah.
He had 4 different ring lights.
He made it work. He made it pop. You know,
And
I
he
think we're here
was so
today.
bright in that space. Everybody was stopping
Right.
to figure out what was happening.
Right.
And you were running that event.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
And what a full circle moment.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, I'm so honored you said yes to being here today.
Yeah, I don't know if I said yes or if I was told, but
Was it
I'm
Madison?
here in Madison.
Finally, somebody's finally on my side when it comes to Maddie. Thank you for saying that.
Yes. I mean, I'm definitely
boy.
appreciative for Madison's friendship. I tell people, like, I try to stay in the back, but everybody keeps pushing me to the front. So, I mean, don't get mad when you get tired of seeing me. So.
No, absolutely. Never. Never.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
I'm talking too much. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I'm just honored, y'all. Like, I'm really in a space of gratefulness and appreciative.
Yes.
Being appreciative.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. This one right here, though, I grew up with. So it's like amazing to be sitting next to her. Right now.
It's
watching
coming.
Rob, because every time someone says they know me from like childhood, his mouth gets to going like, how old is she? What is going
You
on?
better put some respect on it.
Exactly.
respect on that. Yeah, right.
Stop it.
Wow. It better be respect on the age.
Yeah, Luana's the oldest one here.
I am. And the wisest. What's our theme for the month? Our theme for the month? Walking in wisdom.
Yes.
So, and that comes with age.
Gray hair models.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Listen, you better listen. You better let your gray out. You better let, because this gray is beautiful.
Together an event of all gray hair models. I bet you.
I'll be your first model.
People like their great natural hair, though.
I bet you
They love it.
Can I just admit, I'm buying VIP tickets.
Okay. Let me find out you like gray hair.
Front row.
Let me ask the first thing what was the first thing you said to me when you came in today?
You look good.
And you talked about my
Yeah.
and how beautiful it was. See, it got your attention.
Yeah.
Y'all better start wearing that gray. Stop putting those things, chemicals in your hair.
That's
Gray
a new
hair
idea.
models.
Gray hair models.
Email me your information, please. I'm gonna put that on now.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
So look, I'm telling you, this is a really cool idea because I think sometimes we don't celebrate the gray hair wisdom enough, right?
Right.
We don't do that enough. Just honest moment. I watch what's the man's name? Country Wayne. I watch Country Wayne every day. Right? I think he's hilarious, and he does this thing. He has this thing about gray hair. The gray hair women is what he calls them.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I think it'd be a great idea here in Des Moines, especially in Iowa, to celebrate that. Like that would be so dope. I think that would be so dope.
We could do something with that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we could.
I agree, but don't let Rob give you a to-do list. But I do think it's a great idea. See how he slips that in real quick,
No.
right?
And he got his feet out, y'all. He had to stretch his legs out. Okay.
Right. So Courtney, if you were going to give a young entrepreneur any advice, what would you say if you could talk to yourself prior to Clash of the Clippers?
However old you are, to that younger person.
Anyway, that beautiful person.
Don't get it today.
What would you say?
What would I give my younger self?
Younger.
Oh goodness. Just believe in yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
Believe in
Yes.
yourself.
Is that harder said than done?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, the era that we're in now, of course, with that social media and the presence that they put, that you're supposed to believe that they're doing,
Right.
it's hard because a lot of people who are, dealing with certain issues, they don't believe that they can make that.
Yes.
So they feel like they're not going to do it, or they'll keep on putting it on the back burner. No, stop doing that. Even if you got to make yourself a to-do list, or just really literally hop out on faith and quit your job. Don't quit your job if you can't. Don't do that.
Right. You gotta eat.
But you have to make those sacrifices sometimes and just believe in yourself and that you can do it, because if you live by faith, you believe in the Lord, He's gonna push you and He's gonna set you up for what you're supposed to be great at.
Absolutely. I love that answer.
Yeah, no, I love it. That is great. As we get to wind things up before we take a break, any final words that you just want to give to? This is Women's History Month, and we're celebrating and walking in wisdom of those who come before us, and even those that are younger than us. But any final words that you would like to share with the audience
About women? Unite. I am going to say that because there's a lot of women that feel as if they can't work with other women. I swear, like, I work with 90% of women. Okay, we can work together. We can communicate. If you're unsure, reach out to people. Don't hesitate to reach. All they can do, my grandmother told me, all they can do is ever tell you no.
That's right.
Okay? So know that you can work with other women, reach out to them, uplift each other, pull each other up. When you're sitting at the top, pull that other person up too.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it.
That's right.
We are a powerhouse and we're showing up already. So we can continue to do that, and I mean, let's just do it.
I love it.
You head out, give your information so people can hold on you.
Okay, so Privacy does have a website, so www.privacyllc.net. There's a plethora of things in there. You can click on there if you need anything. My email is Courtney@privacyllc.net. If you need to stop by the store, I'm at 3019 Merle Hay Road. You can find me there. I'm working on hours, so if you're not there, you're more than welcome to call me. Looking for an assistant soon and a store assistant. So
that's the second time that came up. Yeah, we were just talking before the show about how women in leadership never have assistants, especially Black women.
Yes, we had a whole conversation about that yesterday.
Yeah.
I am going to try to relinquish some of my duties and pull
That's
somebody
y'all
next.
problem.
Oh my God! Just because
We don't have the time.
right, and we don't have a spirit of entitlement. You know,
when you create something, it's hard for you to let go.
Exactly.
I know I'm looking at
Yeah, I know. So when y'all don't see Rob looking or paying attention, he's looking at his son. So y'all know that.
Well, hey, thank you so much for being on this show.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
Stepping out on faith. Thank you for believing in you, because I look at my niece sometimes, and she is opened to a world now of so many different ideas, right? College isn't just the first forefront thing on her mind, right? She can, she can come sit with you at the store to learn. She can go sit with Dewana to learn. She can go sit with Luana. She hangs out too much with Madison. And so, and then she works, she goes and puts in time to help clean up her mom's restaurant. And so, she is open to all of it. And it honestly, it makes me almost emotional because we grew up in the projects. And to see women like y'all, for her to see is absolutely astonishing.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the host's final thoughts on this show. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to press the share button, and we appreciate y'all. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. I'm your co-host, Luana Nelson Brown, and we have had a fabulous show today, have we not? Yes. Absolutely. Our first show of Women's History Month. Yes. And we had some amazing, wise, walking in wisdom women on the show today. And I am ready to give final thoughts, and then I will pass it to my co-hosts to give their final thoughts. So what struck me today really was with both women who are fantastic, fabulous, and doing the darn thing. Both talked a lot about following their hearts, that wisdom, that joy, and letting joy lead the way. Both said how important that was. And that's something in my life right now that I'm also doing. It's spring. Spring is a time of renewal. We have lots of choices and opportunities that come up around this time of the year. And it's easy to stay in the same rut, do the same thing, whether it's bringing you joy or not. And sometimes, that golden opportunity is right in front of you, and it gives you the best feeling. So trusting yourself, trusting that God in you, and having that faith always equals joy, and then it equals success. So that's my final thought. I'll pass it to Rob.
Hey, thank you. I have the honor and the privilege to sit on this show with some phenomenal women, to work with some phenomenal women who work behind the scenes. I am surrounded by phenomenal women in my family, in my close circle. I am surrounded by them. But most of all, I had the honor and the privilege of God allowing me to be birthed by a phenomenal woman. And for that reason, I am just grateful. I am grateful for the paths that have been laid out, for their sacrifices that they have made. None of you all would be here if it wasn't for a woman who brought you here.
That's right.
And so I know I laugh and joke a lot, and they, and I really do it for entertainment of the show. But please know this, I am forever grateful, even for the woman who gave birth to my son. Right? Because that there is no way he would have got here without a woman.
Exactly.
I am forever grateful to all moms out there who have taken that path. I'm grateful to all women who have birthed ideas, businesses, opportunities, moments, right? I am forever grateful for that. And I think as you watch this show and as you look at this, find somebody to say thank you to that is a Black woman.
Yes.
Because it is her who has given birth to this world. It is her who has given birth to all of these things that has happened that you see or don't even see, that you don't even recognize. And so I want to take a moment of personal privilege to say thank you to Luana and to Dawana for what they do, not on this show, y'all, but for what they do with Des Moines Public Schools, with Juneteenth, with the coalition, with domestic violence, with fighting for our community. Thank you to Madison for how she continues to show up in spaces and be there and speak her mind and not let anybody bully her into thinking or believing something that she does not believe in herself.
Absolutely.
To my sister and to my niece, thank y'all for being who you are. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you. It was important to me this month that we highlight women, because I feel like we don't elevate ourselves enough.
Right.
There's so many demands that are put on our lives as women, from making sure the house is taken care of, to making sure our businesses are taken care of, to making sure that, we're okay for ourselves, to be there for others.
Right.
That very rarely do we get a chance to elevate one another. It was important this month to be able to bring women on the show, and believe me, it's just a select few, but they're just individuals that I think that are doing amazing things within our community, individuals who I think you need to know. And I think for me, what stood out on the show today was making sure that we take care of ourselves. That mental health piece is so important to me, because we don't take enough time taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
If you are not right yourself, you cannot be right for other people. So I want to encourage all of our viewers, and especially you women, make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. Make sure that you're working with one another, elevating one another, being there to encourage one another, because we as women need each other, especially during this time. So I want to thank you all for tuning in on the Urban Impact Show, where this month we will continue to walk in wisdom with other women on the show this month. Thank you for tuning in.